The quest for a historic back-to-back Super Bowl title just took a massive turn behind the scenes at the Virginia Mason Athletic Center. While we are all still celebrating that incredible trophy, the front office is facing a crisis that could derail the entire offense before the new season even kicks off. I have been hearing whispers from inside the building about a move so bold it would redefine our identity. Before I break down these exclusive details, we are pushing for 500 subscribers to keep this insider coverage growing. Hit that subscribe button now and help us reach the goal. Devon Achane is the name currently lighting up the internal discussions in Seattle as the front office realizes the backfield is in a state of total emergency. Following the painful departure of Kenneth Walker III in free agency, the organization believed they had a built-in succession plan. But the reality on the ground has shifted drastically. The Dolphins are in the middle of a complete fire sale, and my sources confirm that Seattle has already made exploratory calls regarding Achane's availability. He is arguably the most explosive young runner in the entire league, and pairing his world-class speed with our vertical passing game would make this offense nearly impossible to defend. However, the price tag is astronomical, both in terms of draft capital and the massive extension he will demand next season as he enters his final year. The front office is weighing whether to pull the trigger on a blockbuster trade that would sacrifice our future flexibility for immediate dominance. The clock is ticking because other contenders are starting to notice Miami's desperation. But there is a much darker reason why this trade has suddenly become a desperate priority for the Seahawks, and it involves a medical update that no one in the organization wanted to hear this early in the offseason. The situation in the training room is far more serious than the public reports are suggesting, and it changes the entire math on how we approach the upcoming draft versus the trade market. If the team does not land a superstar like Achane, the path to another Super Bowl might vanish before training camp even begins. You won't believe how deep the injury concerns actually go for the current roster, and it all centers around the man who was supposed to be our next workhorse back. This backfield situation is moving faster than anyone expected. Do you think the front office should trade the house for a star or play it safe in the draft? Drop your thoughts in the comments right now because I am reading everything. Make sure you like the video if you want more updates. Zach Charbonnet was the undisputed plan A for this franchise, but I have learned through internal medical channels that his recovery from the ACL tear, suffered in the playoffs, is not progressing as hoped. The initial optimism has been replaced by a grim realization that his availability for the start of the 2026 season is now officially in doubt. This is a massive blow to the structure of the offense because Charbonnet was seen as the physical counterpart to our speed elements. Without him, the cupboard is essentially bare at the running back position, leaving the coaching staff in a panic about how to maintain the balanced attack that won us the championship. The internal debate is heating up between those who want to fix this through a veteran trade and those who believe in the draft. While Achane is the flashy trade target, there is a faction within the scouting department pushing hard for Jadarian Price out of Notre Dame. Price would be a much cheaper long-term solution and would allow us to keep our valuable first-round picks to bolster the defensive line. However, rookies are always a gamble, and this team is in a championship window that won't stay open forever. The risk of waiting for a rookie to develop while Charbonnet sits on the sidelines is something the veteran leaders in the locker room are reportedly concerned about. They want proven talent now. The front office is currently split, with some scouts arguing that Price has a similar ceiling to Walker without the high salary cap hit that Achane would eventually bring. This internal tug-of-war is defining the early off-season, as every day that passes without a clear answer at running back is a day that our rivals get stronger. The pressure to make a decision is mounting, and the general manager knows that his choice here will determine if the Seahawks can actually build a dynasty or if they will be remembered as a one-hit wonder. The next 48 hours could provide the clarity we need as the draft board begins to finalize and Miami's asking price for their stars continues to fluctuate wildly in this league-wide fire sale. The long-term implications of this decision cannot be overstated for the Seattle Seahawks. If they decide to go the route of a trade for Devon Achane, they are essentially signaling to the entire league that they are in an all-in mode, sacrificing the long-term salary cap health for a chance to win right now. Achane is looking for a contract that would likely reset the market for running backs, and with other star players on the roster also needing extensions, this could create a massive cap squeeze in the next 2 to 3 years. On the other hand, the front office is fully aware that elite windows in the NFL are incredibly fragile. Losing a player of Kenneth Walker's caliber and then seeing Zach Charbonnet go down with a major injury is the kind of back-to-back misfortune that can ruin a title defense. Head coach Mike Macdonald knows that his defensive schemes are much more effective when the offense can control the clock and keep his unit fresh, something that is only possible with a dynamic ground game. If the run game becomes a liability, the defense will be forced to spend more time on the field, leading to late-game fatigue and potential regression. The front office is also looking at the competitive landscape of the NFC West, where our rivals are already loading up to knock us off the throne. Staying stagnant at the most important skill position outside of quarterback is simply not an option. Whether it is a blockbuster trade or a high-stakes draft pick, the Seahawks are preparing to be aggressive. My sources suggest that the team is leaning toward a win now. Move because the veteran core of this team isn't getting any younger. They see the Miami fire sale as a unique opportunity to acquire a generational talent at a slight discount, even if the eventual contract is heavy. This is about more than just one position. It is about the philosophy of the franchise. Are we a team that builds slowly, or are we a team that strikes while the iron is hot? The next few weeks will provide the definitive answer as the scouting reports are finalized and the trade phone lines stay busy through the night. The impact of this move will be felt for years in Seattle. This is a defining moment for the Seattle Seahawks, a crossroads that will determine the legacy of this current era. Replacing a legend like Kenneth Walker is never easy, but doing it while your backup is sidelined creates a level of pressure that most franchises would buckle under. But this is Seattle, and this front office has a history of making the bold moves that others are too afraid to attempt. The pursuit of Devon Achane represents a commitment to excellence and a refusal to accept mediocrity even after reaching the mountaintop. It tells the fans and the players that the goal is not just one championship, but a sustained period of dominance that the city of Seattle deserves. Whether they ultimately land Achane or pivot to a high-upside rookie like Jadarian Price, the message is clear. The Seahawks will not go quietly into the night. They are fighting to keep their offensive identity alive at all costs. For the 12s, this is a time of both anxiety and incredible excitement. We are watching a front office operate at the highest level of professional sports, navigating injuries and free agency losses with surgical precision. This backfield drama is the first major test of our title defense, and how we pass it will tell us everything we need to know about our chances in the upcoming season. We need to stay united as a fan base and trust the process that brought us the Lombardi Trophy. I want to hear from every single one of you in the comments below. Is Devon Achane the missing piece for a repeat, or are we better off building through the draft to save our future? Your voice matters in this community, so let's get the debate started. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the Seahawks' inner workings, make sure you hit that subscribe button and give this video a like. We are pushing hard for that 500 subscriber milestone, and your support is what makes this insider coverage possible. We will be tracking every phone call and every rumor coming out of the VMAC to keep you ahead of the news. This is going to be an off-season for the history books, and you won't want to miss a single second of what comes next for the Hawks. Go Hawks, and let's keep this championship momentum rolling into the new year.